Alright, man, we got a video from Chilling Scares here. We got 5 most disturbing stealth camping encounters caught on camera. As soon as I see the word camping, I immediately just, I get chills, bro. Like, I got goosebumps right now. My hair is standing up on my arm, bro. I hate camping. I hate camping, because, like, to me, when I think of camping, I'm thinking, like, out in the middle of the woods, in just a tent. And, you don't know what the fudge is around you. You're hearing all these noises. It could be just, like, sticks falling from trees, branches falling from trees, bro, Or it could be somebody walking on those branches, breaking those sticks. And, getting closer to you, stalking you, man. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I mean, I don't know if this is necessarily a scary video, but I feel like turning the lights off for it anyway. Just, set the mood for, some disturbingness. Dude. Freaking just, I don't know, just being out there camping in the middle of the woods, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't like the idea of somebody possibly watching me. And I don't know, you don't know what's out there with you. You really don't.
Ian on YouTube is a channel run by 30-year-old Ian who's been posting on the platform for the better part of a decade. His content covers everything from day-in-the-life work vlogs to different adventures after hours. And while most of it is nothing more than fun, one particular encounter left him shaken to his core.
Oh, God.
On January 18th, 2024, Ian posted a video going over the disturbing experience he had while stealth camping in a McDonald's parking lot in Palm Springs, California. Stealth camping, for those who don't know, is when someone spends the night in a vehicle or tent in an area not officially designated for camping, usually while trying to avoid detection.
I did not
It's
know
often
that.
done out of necessity, curiosity, or simply for the thrill of it. And while it can be harmless, it also means the camper is completely exposed and vulnerable to whatever or whoever might be lurking nearby. This is exactly what happened with Ian on the 16th of January 2024.
That's even worse. Like, you're able to be seen. Like, your car could... Dude. Like, now you're for sure being seen by people. And that... Dude, what is actually wrong with y'all, bro?
He'd been stealth camping for quite some time by that point, and had spent
Man,
nights in much harsher conditions, like during heavy rain or in a sandstorm. So staying overnight in a McDonald's parking lot seemed like nothing to him. Unfortunately, he couldn't have been more wrong. After setting everything up, he went to lie down in the back of his car. But just as he was about to fall asleep, he was interrupted by the sound of someone repeatedly trying to open his car.
Oh my... Okay. Look, man, I guess this is not as bad as, like, I was making it out to be, like, a few seconds ago. It's not that bad. I mean, I guess if you're out in public like you are, yeah, you're seen by more people, but that also means, like, people might be more hesitant to even mess with you because of being seen by other people. I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
Car's door. He immediately got up to see who it was, and this is what he came across.
What's going on, man? What's going on? What's up?
Dude, what do you mean, what's up?
What's going on? What are you doing?
Ew.
There was a man standing outside the passenger door. What made the encounter
Just
even more
staring at him.
unsettling was that the man never said a word, even as Ian repeatedly called out to him, trying to get some kind of explanation for what he was doing.
Hey, bro.
Don't you dare open that damn door.
What's up? What you doing, man? Ain't weird, bro.
Despite his panic, however, he made the wise decision to stay locked in his car and quickly drive to a more hidden spot in the lot.
Or go home.
And that wasn't enough, because just a few minutes later, Ian spotted the same man walking around the parking lot, possibly trying to locate his car.
Go home.
For his safety, he drove to a completely different location and managed to sleep through the rest of the night without any incident. Still, the question remained, who was this man and what exactly was he trying to do?
Dude, see, like, what
Ian
is...
never made a follow-up or shared any more info regarding the encounter in the video's description, so we can only speculate on what happened that night.
That's freaking
Now,
creepy
it's
as hell, bro.
possible that he was just a harmless, mentally ill person who wasn't fully conscious of what he was doing. This could explain why he didn't answer when Ian called out to him and just calmly walked away without a word. However, a far more likely explanation is that the act of trying to break into Ian's car was completely intentional, and when he was caught, he just acted confused and harmless to seem less threatening. Perhaps he really thought the car was empty and was trying to steal it. Or maybe he knew Ian was inside and had intentions to rob him or something far more sinister. His strange behavior also suggested that he might have been under the influence of some kind of drugs, which would have made him even more unstable and by extension more dangerous. Fortunately, Ian managed to drive away unscathed before he could find out the man's true intentions.
See, bro, it's just like the staring at you through the...
On February 11th, 2024, stealth camping YouTuber Brendan Explores posted a video of him spending a night in the small village of Jaywick, England. The thing about Jaywick, however, is that it's been named as the most deprived town in all of England.
Oh boy.
The combination of high unemployment and poor living conditions has pushed many of its residents toward a life of crime. Brendan, however, wanted to see the village firsthand to decide whether it was truly as bad as the media made it out to be. His first impressions of the place were quite good, with him admiring the natural landscape surrounding the village. What he didn't realize at the time was that this lighthearted escape to the countryside would soon spiral into complete disaster. It began with him driving through the town and searching for a discreet spot to park his van so he could settle in before it got dark. He eventually found a parking lot that looked promising and decided to make it his home for the night. But it didn't take long for him to start noticing a series of red flags in the area, like people riding around with gangster rap blaring from a speaker.
Oh, hell nah. You gotta go.
Street racers speeding down the road right in front of the parking lot. As the evening approached, he was also left alone in the parking lot, making him a prime target for any would-be robber. So, after thinking about it for a few minutes, he thought it would be best to leave the parking lot and find a more secluded spot for camping. He eventually went down a dirt trail and parked in the middle of nowhere, without any houses or major roads nearby. This turned out to be the worst decision Brendan could have made in that situation, because at around 2:30 a.m., about 4 hours after he went to sleep, he was woken up by the sound of someone walking around his van.
Oh my god.
I think someone's outside the van.
Oh, don't you dare yell out anything.
2:30.
Yeah, bro, what are they doing? You're all the way out there and they're walking around your van.
This person then tried to open the van's sliding door.
Oh, I'd shit myself.
But before Brendan even had a chance to fully understand his predicament, this happened.
Oh, what the fudge? He just shoot the freaking... Did he just... What? That scared the whoo! Oh my god, that scared my soul out of my body for a half second.
His predicament, this happened.
Hey!
He shattered his window, bro. I heard the glass hit the floor.
Whoever this person was shattered the passenger side window before running away once Brendan started shouting. In the video's description, Brendan speculated that this person was likely trying to steal the mini refrigerator he had on the passenger seat. While this might not be entirely accurate, there's still some truth behind it. Judging by the fact that the intruder fled the moment they heard Brendan, it's likely they were simply looking to steal something, nothing more. As for how they managed to find his van in the middle of nowhere, it's entirely possible that they stalked him from when he was in town. However, given these circumstances, the situation could have turned out a lot worse. As one comment under the video pointed out, when you said you had found the perfect quiet spot after driving away from town down a quiet pitch-black lane in the middle of nowhere with nobody else around for miles, at that point I was absolutely terrified. How on earth you managed to go to sleep to begin with amazes me. A few blokes with their hoods pulled down and armed, and you wouldn't have stood a chance. While nothing truly tragic occurred, the experience was terrifying enough to rattle Brendan. Instead of staying the night, he drove through the darkness until daybreak just to make it back home, which was ultimately the right call.
Damn right.
He's still making stealth camping videos, but now he's far more cautious about where he parks.
I would have stayed parked where you were the first time.
Spots.
I would have stayed where you were the first time and took my chances there, bro.
In March of 2025, a camping YouTuber named Daniel Mark Brown planned a stealth camping trip in the woodlands surrounding Oswestry, England. His plan was simple: travel alongside one of the many hiking trails in the area and then go off-trail to find a good stealth spot. And this worked better than he expected, finding the perfectly hidden camping area in no time. After setting down his supplies, Daniel went to the nearby river to cook a meal before
Yeah,
heading
that
back to the
actually looks
spot
really
he found
nice.
earlier. By the time he came back, it was already starting to get dark, and the trail was starting to empty out, giving Daniel the peace of mind to wind down and call it a night. However, what happened next made him realize the true danger he was in. After laying out his sleeping bag, settling down, and finally falling asleep, 90 minutes had
You're
passed
that
when he was suddenly
Oh,
jolted
hold
awake.
on. Hold on a minute. That actually looks kind of comfy right there, bro. I might, you know. I mean, look at this, right? Like, you got a little sleeping bag, and then you just tuck up right underneath this thing, and you're completely hidden, bro. Like, I like that. I honestly, I don't like it any more than I like a tent. I hate them both when it comes to, just being out here, but like in terms of like coziness, bro, like hell yeah, I would sleep in this just like right now, bro.
Awake.
I've 100% been spotted. Right, I'm trying to keep calm and keeping calm. I'm almost too scared to breathe here.
You should be.
I think a dog or something just came in.
Oh my god.
Daniel was woken up by the cracking of branches, followed by the light from a flashlight. He eventually found the courage to unzip his sleeping bag to see who was out
You
there.
brave motherfucker. Well, by the time you even get it
They're looking straight at me.
yeah. By the time you even get it unzipped, they're gonna be ready for you. They've already heard you.
By this point,
Oh my
he couldn't
God.
think of anything else to do but call out to the person who was now aiming the flashlight at him.
They don't
But
see
instead
you.
of getting a reply of any kind, the person
There ain't no way they see you through all those trees.
just turned around and disappeared into the woods, never to be seen again.
You're behind
Huh?
so much Bro, yeah, now you scared him. Why would you call out? That's just so dumb, bro. I don't understand that shit, bro.
They haven't been about, I haven't seen a single light now for maybe 5-10 minutes. I don't even know.
I don't-
I've been just trying to keep as calm as possible. But when they walked off and the light went out, I don't even know which direction they were. But somewhere in that direction. I'll forget it. Let's just go.
I
This
don't...
experience startled
No,
him enough
bro.
to quickly pack his stuff and hightail out of the wooded
He
area.
was still behind some, some like brush and stuff. So, he might have just been thinking like, what is that on the ground? If he saw you at all. He might not have known that that was a person there. He might have just been trying to figure out what it was on the ground. But I don't know. I don't think from that distance he would have knew that you were a person hiding in there. Unless he walked up pretty close. But like when he said hello, it's like the guy kind of like was like, "Oh shit, that's a person." I don't know. That's what it looks like to me.
area. However, if the person with the flashlight had malicious intent, leaving the campsite wasn't going to be an easy task. The way they refused to respond to Daniel's hello was unsettling enough. But how they silently turned off their light and disappeared into the woods suggested they might have been hiding, waiting to ambush him to rob him.
Oh my
or
God, they turned off
possibly
the light?
worse. That being said, it's entirely possible that the mysterious person was just someone walking their dog at night or something else completely innocent. As for why they didn't reply to Daniel, it's possible they were just as scared as he was after hearing a hello from
Yep.
the darkness of the woods.
Yeah,
However, we also
exactly.
can't rule out the possibility that they were trying to sneak up on Daniel for some sinister reason, only turning around once they realized they've been spotted. Whatever the case may be, Daniel made it out of the woods safely without encountering the same person again.
That's good, bro. Man, just don't go in the damn woods.
Ellie and Graham are an elderly duo from the UK who travel around the country in their camper van while vlogging about their adventures on YouTube. In November of 2022, they were on one of their trips when they had to urgently travel back home due to an emergency. However, they were too far away to make it back in one day. After searching online, they found a stealth camping spot on the outskirts of a town called Altrium. It was a fairly small car park,
Oh.
but the couple was in a hurry, so they didn't have any other choice but to camp there for the night, hoping to get back on the road the next morning. What they didn't expect, however, was that this would spiral into the most terrifying experience of their entire camping journey. By the time they got to this location, it was already dark out. They parked their van and settled in for the night, going to sleep at around 11 p.m. But then at 1 a.m., both of them woke up to the sound of loud music blaring from a car. However, the music stopped soon after, so they brushed it off and began settling back into their bed. That's when they both heard a disturbing bang coming from their own van. It was loud enough that they thought a tree had fallen onto their van. They quickly rushed outside to see what had happened, and this was the shocking sight they came across.
Just can't believe it.
They popped a tire.
We've just been woken up with a loud bang.
They broke the window with a brick.
You dropped something on the floor there. Was that glass? 2 bricks. And someone's just smashed me.
Dude, why? For what reason?
So no, we don't recommend this as a place to stop. They smashed the windscreen, but Graham's hoping he can drive with that. But here's us in the middle of nowhere.
Stupid.
With a broken window and a cracked windscreen.
Like, people actually just see a random van just sitting out here camping in a parking lot kind of thing, and they just think to walk up and smash the window, bro. Like, what? I don't know.
After some investigation, they found 3 bricks around the van, which was severely damaged. The windshield was cracked, the passenger side window was completely shattered, and the van had a massive dent behind the sliding door.
Wow.
More troubling than the physical damage to the van was the psychological impact on Ellie and Graham, who were now absolutely terrified. It's also possible that this could have been a trap designed to lure them out of the safety of their locked van. However, even after hours had passed, no one approached the couple, attempted a break-in, or made any kind of move toward them. But instead of bringing comfort, this only made the two even more unsettled. They were just attacked with multiple bricks, yet they had no idea who did it and why. After talking to the family from another camper van that was parked nearby, they learned that the attacker came in a car, as the other family heard tire screeches after the attack. Ellie and Graham also figured that this was a group effort, because despite the multiple bricks, there was only one collision sound. In other words, there were at least 3 suspects who threw bricks at the same time.
Wow.
Why would anyone attack an elderly couple out of nowhere and then leave without gaining anything from it?
Because people are dumb as
Maybe they just wanted
hell.
to scare off campers for whatever reason. But if that were the case, why was the other van spared completely? Unfortunately, there's really no clues to help answer these questions. No faces were seen, no voices were heard, and no clear motive ever emerged, leaving the entire incident a complete mystery. And while Ellie and Graham were too scared to ever go stealth camping again after this incident, it seems by now they've since made a complete recovery and are back on the road again.
Nobody better ever mess with them again, bro. Leave them
July
alone.
2022,
They're just
YouTuber
elderly
The
people trying to
Abandoned
enjoy
Camper
life, bro.
uploaded a video of her stealth camping in an abandoned cemetery from the 1800s.
Where? You're camping in an abandoned cemetery. Man, you know, whatever, you know, exorcist type shit goes on in your car or van, you deserve it.
Hundreds. Things started off quite normal as she found a clearing hidden in the thick foliage and began unpacking her camping gear. After setting up camp, she decided to explore the cemetery to pass the time until nightfall.
To make it worse, you're going outside to camp. Alright, okay, yeah, smart decisions
and that's
here.
when things started to take a strange turn. As she was filming the gravestones, she began to hear what sounded like a bunch of kids screaming.
The dog. And the dog hears it too. Yep, that dog kind of scares me. She's not reacting to anything.
She assumed she was alone in the cemetery. However, she could not have been more wrong.
Raccoons.
As she was going back to her camp, she saw a group of kids in the distance who likely knew about her presence.
So if you can't tell, it's pretty dark here right now, but there are kids here, like young kids in the cemetery. And I'm wondering how active this place actually is. Do people come here at night and kind of party in the forest or something? That dog kind of ruined it. Not ruined it, I shouldn't say that. The dog barking, I didn't want to disturb anybody, especially since I'm not supposed to be here. So I think I'll finish my exploring tomorrow morning because there seems to be still a lot of stuff here. See?
Yeah, you gotta go home.
I think they know I'm here. That's not good.
At this point, she was pretty certain that the kids knew about her and were just messing with her. However, she still kept her camera rolling just in case, and even made sure that she wasn't followed back to the campsite.
I'm gonna keep this recording. Just in case. But I'm also gonna stop and find out what they're doing, if they're actually watching me or not. Well, I can see them.
That is terrifying.
I just don't want them to see where I'm going. Okay.
Bro, I'm nervous for you.
I think they're gone.
Once back at her stealth campsite, she started a small fire to cook her food.
Go home. Leave, bro. Like...
Unfortunately, this turned out to be a huge mistake, because shortly after starting the fire, she started hearing the sound of people talking and walking toward her in the forest.
You're starting a fire in the middle of a dark freaking forest. And you think those kids ain't gonna see that? That thing can be spotted from who knows how far away, and you're starting a damn fire when you know there's people looking for you. And you were afraid of people looking for you and following you, and you're starting a damn fire. Go home!
There are people walking around.
No shit!
They don't have headlamps on, but, like I said in my last video, I do not like being around people in the middle of a forest.
Leave.
Especially when it's dark out. So, I might pack up and get out of here when I think the coast is clear.
It's unclear what the kids' intentions were, and we likely won't ever know, as she made the wise decision to avoid any risk by packing up her things and quickly leaving the cemetery, making sure to remain as quiet as possible.
As you should have done the first time, rather than starting a damn fire, bro. Honestly, I don't think I'd ever have a fire unless I absolutely needed one, because I don't want people seeing that. Like, I don't want to draw more attention to myself than I already really am just by being out there. Like, I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm just overthinking shit, because I just hate the woods, and I just don't like people like that, bro. I just don't trust people. Like, if I'm out there, I'm gonna assume every person out there has bad intentions, honestly. You know, I'm not gonna say, like, what's someone doing out there in the middle of the woods at, like, 2 a.m., because I'm freaking out there at 2 a.m., bro. So, you know, like, and I wouldn't have bad intentions, so, you know, maybe other people wouldn't have bad intentions as well, but I automatically would assume that anybody I saw or heard out there had bad intentions or was malicious. I would just automatically assume that every single time. I would not call out to them ever. Like, that's one thing I hate, is when someone, like, calls out, like, hello? Like, man, shut the fudge up. You're scared of this person who's looking at you with a flashlight as you're in a sleeping bag. You know how long it's going to take you to get out of that? If that person were to charge at you and were to sprint at you, you're in a sleeping bag. That's going to take you a minute to get out of that and get situated with what the fudge is going on. And you're going to be panicking, you're going to be tripping over the freaking sleeping bag, you're going to be like, dude, it's going to be a mess. And you're sitting here calling out, hello. How about get out of there first, get yourself organized, and then if you want to be like that and say hello for whatever freaking reason, go ahead, bro. But like me, I'm never calling out. I'm a ninja, bro. I'm a master at this stealthy shit, man. You know, like I don't know. I can't relate to that kind of stuff. I can't relate to camping in general, bro, just cuz I don't like the idea of it, bro. You know, maybe I don't know. I don't know, man. If I ever did go freaking camping, it would be recorded and there'll be a video made out of it. I would not just do it for my own freaking enjoyment, because I wouldn't enjoy it, bro. If I'm gonna go camping at any point in my life, I'm recording that shit, and y'all are gonna see it too. And you're gonna see me be scared to death, bro. So yeah. I mean, you know, I wouldn't say expect that kind of a video, but just saying, if it were to happen, y'all are seeing it 100%. So